I love my boyfriend's best friend. F23, M25. TLDR below plus throwaway because he knows no my Reddit. My F23 boyfriend, M25. And I have been together for 3 years, and we're very much in love. I have no plans to leave him. He's my person. About over a year ago, his best friend, M26, lost his job and his girlfriend dumped him. And my boyfriend offered and insisted to let him stay with us until he got back on his feet without consulting me. I won't lie, I was very upset. I wasn't happy about sharing our space with one of his friends, but also I didn't want to be that person who pushes out someone my boyfriend clearly cares so much about. So I decided to be patient and let him have his way. A few months in, the guy and I actually became good friends. I started to see why he was my boyfriend's best friend. He's loyal, kind, funny, and easy to get along with. I realized just how much we had in common. We share the same sense of humor, similar interests, and the kind of easy banter that feels like it's always been there. I feel like I've known him forever. Over time, it stopped feeling like it was just my boyfriend and me. It naturally became us three. We started doing everything together, cooking, grabbing dinner, spending lazy evenings, and even going on trips abroad. It never felt forced. It just fit. Like he belonged with us. Like our home wasn't fully whole without him in it. We would plan our free time to make sure we would always be free at the same time. Sometimes during drunk nights out, we come home and we all sleep in the same bed, nothing sexual, just sleeping and cuddling. It's so comfortable, the three of us together. It started to feel like home W. Well, for me at least. He's a very tactile and friendly person to me and my boyfriend. He'll brush my hair when I'm unwell, and he helps take care of me with my boyfriend. Or if he's sick, we will look after him, or we will look after my boyfriend. We all look after one another like a family would. I trust him. My boyfriend trusts him. It's just the kind of relationship we developed over time. I think that's why it hit me so hard the other night when he told me he's planning to move out next month. He got a new job 6 months ago and said he can't stay with us forever. He hugged me saying thank you, and something in me just quietly cracked. I didn't understand at that moment, but now I think about it. I do. I love him, and I'm realizing it now. It's not about anything physical, even though I do find him attractive. But it's deeper than that. I love him as a person, completely. And I feel like I will grieve the day he leaves. I don't really know what to do with these feelings. Maybe it sounds selfish, but I didn't know it was possible to truly love two people at once. And yet, I do. Loving him hasn't taken anything away from what I have with my boyfriend. If anything, it's made my heart feel even fuller. I would never leave my boyfriend. I'm just ashamed I feel this way. It's not normal. I feel conflicted about all these feelings. I know I shouldn't feel this way. I can't help it. I will eventually have to tell my boyfriend. I don't know what to do with these feelings. TLDR. I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 4 years, and his best friend moved in with us to get back on his feet. Over time, I became really close to him, and now I realize I've developed feelings for him. I'm confused and feel guilty because I would never leave my boyfriend, but I don't know what to do with these feelings. My boyfriend humiliated me at a concert. I bought tickets for me and my boyfriend Jay to go see a concert of a band I've liked since I was 13. They've been broken up for 15 years, so I was elated to get the chance to see them. Jay tells his friend R about this show, and R decides to fly in to see this band. Before the show, Jay is being somewhat annoying because he wants to have sex. I tell him we don't have much time, as I take a while to get ready. He insists that he doesn't care when we get there, so I agree. Then, before I'm even done getting dressed, he calls an Uber and rushes me out. This is kinda irrelevant information, but I think it added to the tension that comes later. Also, at some point earlier in the day, he wraps his arm around my neck and accidentally chokes me. I have told him many times to be careful around my throat, because I had an ex who strangled me when I was 15. I just found it really annoying. Since Jay was rushing me out, I didn't have time to ask him about the 2 White Claws that he decided to bring. We end up missing our train, and Jay goes into the convenience store to buy more drinks. I tell him I don't really want to drink much, but I don't stop him from buying them. We have a good time getting there. Once we're at the venue, I tell him I don't want the other drink he bought. I say I may get a drink at the bar, but I'm not someone who gets drunk at shows. This concert is really important to me, and I want to remember it. I'm also a bit surprised that Jay is deciding to drink, as him and R met in rehab. I have difficult feelings about Jay's experience in rehab, because Jay's parents sent him there as a teenager, and I felt like, from what he told me, it was the result of his parents not knowing what to do with a depressed child. However, once in college, Jay got badly addicted to cocaine and had to move back home with his parents to get sober. We've talked a lot about his sobriety, and I supported him being able to drink as long as he can go about it healthily. R ends up inviting 3 people to this show. This is a little overwhelming for me, as I'm a bit of an awkward person, but I am depending on Jay to be there for me, since R is his friend, and I've never met him. R and friend number 1 are already there, and then he's inviting friend number 2 and friend number two's girlfriend. R tells us friend number 2 is a bit awkward. Jay decides to make a joke to them, 2 people I've never met, that I would try to fuck him, because I like awkward guys. I felt really uncomfortable by this joke, but decided to brush it off. Before the show starts, we go to the merch line. Jay and I are talking about a friend of ours, and Jay asks me if the friend ever tried to hook up with me. Jay knows that the friend and I matched on Tinder once like 3 years ago, so I made a little bit of a thinking face trying to figure out if that counted. Jay then starts kind of freaking out. He has a jealous streak that I'm not going to go into because this post will become a novel. This has been the main point of animosity in our relationship, but for the past couple weeks, he has really turned things around. Anyway, I'm like, no, I was just making a face. He then loudly tells me to not do that, because I know it was upset him and I have to respect his boundaries. He is saying this loudly in a line of people. I tell him to not talk to me like that in public. Then he starts loudly apologizing and trying to give me a consolation hug. I'm really weirded out. Eventually, the show starts. Jay is continuing to weird me out. He's dancing weird, he's crying, and then he comes up behind me and puts his arm tightly around my throat. Again. I hit his arm to get him off of me. Once the show ends, I tell him that I need a few minutes because it's really triggering for me. It also sucked it was in a crowd of people, and I was trying to see my show. The last thing I needed was a flashback. He decided to go pull up a chair at this random table of 40-year-old men and talk to them, so I go and try to make conversation with R and his friends. R tries to get Jay to come back, but Jay refuses. After like 20 minutes, I go try to find him again. The 2 men are obviously weirded out, and I'm really embarrassed. I tell Jay he needs to cut down on the drinks. At this point, I've lost track of how many he's had, and he left me hanging with his friends. He goes and talks to his friends, then starts trying to argue with me, saying they didn't have a problem with it and I'm making it a big deal. I tell him I need to go to the BR. When I come back, he is sobbing in R's arms and everyone is watching. I go up and ask what's going on. R comes up to me and tells me I need to be nicer. This pisses me off, Beth, because R didn't have to deal with drunk Jay in rehab, and he has no idea what it's like. Friend two's girlfriend tries to invite me out with them, and I say no thank you, I'm going home. Jay follows me out of the venue and is trying to leave with me. I tell him no, I'm upset, and he needs to go be with his friends. He is R. Found out my boyfriend was a cheating scum when I rushed him to the ER throwaway. I'm beyond heartbroken and angry. My longtime boyfriend had an accident at home and broke a few bones. When we got to the hospital, he was so out of it, he gave me his phone pin, guarded that phone like it was the crown jewels, because my phone had died. Asian dating, local hookups, finding women overseas, messages kept coming from all those apps and sites. So many porn and streaming sites. But what sent me over the edge was the texts and emails and videos with other women. The pics they'd taken on Valentine's Day, the quick vacations where he was supposedly taking care of his family, declarations of love and lust going back years. Women he'd told me not to worry about, they're just friends. One lost her parents and was having a hard time. Another wanted help figuring out to sell her home. You know the excuses. He told me I was ridiculous, paranoid, acting like a controlling witch. But I could feel it. He'd stopped hugging me, touching me, and blamed it on the stress of having to take care of his handicapped mom. All while proclaiming he loved me so much, calling me the same sweet nicknames, the ones he used with the others as well, BTW. Even talked about wanting to get married. Brought that up with one of the others as well, which destroyed me. Now he's in the hospital and I can just stare at his lying, fucking cheating face in that bed. He may not remember when he wakes up that I told him he's wasted my time and my love and that I hate him more than anything on this earth, and this will be the last time he sees me in this life. But the one thing I did do is use his phone to message all of the other women he'd been romancing, texting, sexting, telling them how sexy they are and how good they make him feel. Oh, baby, I'm ready to have a real relationship because you're the only one I want. And told them what he's done, that he's more than a piece of shit-stained trash. He's the whole fucking dumpster. Took pics and sent myself a lot of the evidence before I unfollowed, blocked, and deleted every last trace of myself and us from his phone. I don't want to ever forget how he's treated me, so I won't even think about forgiveness. I lost my best friend. Now, I'm sitting and looking out the window, waiting for sunrise and a new day to unfold, and wondering why he sucks so much and makes me feel like I'm not enough. I know I am, but I don't know if I'll ever trust anyone with my heart again. Sorry it's long, just had to get this off my chest. My brother left his girlfriend for a pocket pussy. He's cooked. So my younger brother, 21, had a beautiful girlfriend, 21 of 3 years. They were together through all of university and were seriously in love. They planned a whole future together, family, marriage, kids, etc. She was a super sweet, caring, loyal girl, a rare gem today, which I constantly reminded him of. So we regularly call on the phone, and after all that time they were still deeply in love. He then goes to Mexico for a retreat. While in Mexico, he meets a young girl and discusses to me about getting with her. I said, of course, don't. And he did. He only kissed her drunk. And then 2 days later called me and said he fingered a 55-year-old and prematurely came in his hand on the beach and ran away, leaving her there. I'm of course blown away. He then for the next 6 weeks is constantly telling me how he wants to break up with his girlfriend, how he doesn't love her anymore, how he can do better, travel, etc. He started seriously neglecting her, not responding, not caring about her, pulling away. He even stopped having sex with her and would sneak off in the middle of the night to watch porn by himself and sneak back in bed. I kept telling him to get his shit together because he is throwing away his entire future with a beautiful girl and future mother of his children. He, of course, didn't listen and just neglected her further while insisting that she was so obsessed with him that she would never leave. I told him she would repeatedly, and he stuck by this. He then kept insisting on his mission, which was to dopamine max, by getting a pocket pussy, a bunch of mushrooms, and a Quest 3 VR headset, and watch porn all day to dopamine max. Of course, I tell him for weeks not to do it, but he would actually aggressively shut me down if I told him not to and end the call and not speak to me if I brought up how it was a bad idea. A week or so goes by, and his mission was ready. He had the new VR and his mushrooms and his new pocket pussy he actually named Martha. I still told him not to, but he did anyway. So, next he takes the mushrooms, and a couple hours in, just when he is about to start, she calls him. Like an idiot, he answers, and they speak for an hour while she is crying, saying something is off. She gets it out of him, where he says he doesn't love her anymore, and maybe they should break up. She then spends the whole night desperately crying alone, in a fit of tears, while my brother has his VR pocket pussy mission and enjoys himself. The next day, he tells me they spoke and they didn't officially break up, and he kept reinforcing that she would never leave him no matter what. I told him he is wrong. A few days later, she officially breaks up with him. He then calls me absolutely crying, bawling his eyes out in complete disbelief. I, of course, am absolutely speechless. He goes crazy, desperately calling and texting her, even her mom and sister, begging. It gets so bad to the point she has to block him. He even suggested sending letters to her house and making her PowerPoint presentations to explain things. He, for weeks, is depressed, crying his eyes out, constantly saying he has a feeling she is coming back to him. She would never leave him. It's been 6 weeks, and he is still obsessed, just not crying as much. It's so hard for me because I am constantly trying to help him get his life together, but feels impossible to help when he acts like this. He is completely cooked.